On this week's show, Green Goblins Glider, iOS Infinity 2.0, and nothing but the spoils. All this and more on episode 74 of the Inside Infinity podcast.
What's up, guys? This is John Vignacchi, executive producer on Disney Infinity, and you are listening to Inside Infinity, the first official Disney Infinity podcast on the net.
Inside Infinity is brought to you with support from Eviloss Customs. Eviloss.com is your number one place for Disney Infinity related customs and figures. Right here, you're looking at one of his new Crystal Mickey custom figures. We'll be giving this away on future podcasts later this month, so stay tuned. But until then, head over to Eviloss.com to find out more. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 74 of the Inside Infinity podcast, recorded on January 26, 2015. I am one of your two hosts this evening, Will Kelly, and joining me tonight in his spiffy clothes and his nice background, Mr. Steve Krellin. Steve, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm pretty good. Thanks, man. It's been a while since I've been on. I jumped the gun a little bit, though. I thought my next scheduled show was, what is it, like 19 years from now?
Yeah, something. And where is it again? It's on the Arcadia or something?
No, it's going to be on the Axiom.
Axiom. That's
when
right.
Everybody is living on a ship, you'll invite me to do another podcast. I'm pretty positive that Lloyd is behind my sabotage of lack of show, but, you know, what are you going to do?
No, well, you know what? That was your next scheduled appearance, but unfortunately, we had a cancellation, and we were scrambling for a last-minute booking, and you drew the short straw.
I like being the backup in case someone else fails. It's always nice to be someone's second choice.
Well, you know what? We missed you on the show, and we're just glad to have you back. Along with everyone in the chat room, we have a good, healthy group in there tonight. We have a few special guests, so I want to thank those special guests for being here. You know who you are. I'd like to say hello to a few other friends. Disc Primitive, Eviloss, Jason over there at Infinity Inquirer, Tyrell, Kingdom Keeper Parker, good friend Romulus, that's Loxt, Link Hayes. It looks like Travis is in there. He's Travis, we hope you're holding down pretty well under the crazy ass weather you have over there.
He's in Snowmageddon right now.
Snowmageddon. So hope we're going to be able to find you a little bit of reprieve from that. And Jason's in the chat, so. Oh, Justin too. Sorry if I missed your name. It's too many viewers, but we appreciate everyone coming and watching us. You can watch us each Monday evening, generally 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Just head on over to DisneyInfinity.tv and click around. You can find our live link there and come chat with us. You can also find us on Twitch.tv. Just look for Disney Infinity TV on Twitch, which is where we're broadcasting. So welcome everyone. I love your background, Steve. You're sporting
the Red Sox stuff. Well, you know, I'm a huge Red Sox fan, and that's up here all the time. You know, I haven't altered a single piece of my office today. It's weird that you're bringing it up now. We've known each other for over a year, and now you're commenting on my office. I literally haven't changed a single thing in this office or the way that I dress in this time, and now you're bringing it up. That's very odd.
My apologies, but we know I'm not the best of friends. Lord Jashiro in the chat is congratulating you and Sarah for your happy day. Something it took me like a month and a half to do, and I did it last episode. Why didn't I just wait until you came on this episode?
Because you were, number one, you pointed out that we're not as good of friends as you like to believe me to be, and number two, because we weren't expected to be on until Sarah and I had our 80th anniversary, and then you were going to bring it up at that point. But did you show the picture at all of how it happened?
I did. Yep. I showed everyone. You were on Space Mountain, right?
Yep. It was Space Mountain. It was spectacular. So.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well. Yep. It was fun and it worked out really well. She had no idea, and Lila helped me do it, and it was a riot because there was a whole bunch of people like waiting around to take the pictures. You know, people put their phones up and they take the pictures. When we walked up there, everybody saw the sign first, so they were waiting to see who was coming up with the sign. And when they saw us, they all like made a big circle. So Sarah knew something was going on because all of a sudden everybody moved. And normally you're fighting people to get your camera up and take the picture. And she was like, oh, whoa, everyone's moving. And then it was cool. So, and it happened. And after like 3 days of thinking about it, she said yes. So, you know, she's She's stuck now.
That's too funny.
She took the ring. She can't. I'm not letting it take it back.
Nope. She's stuck now.
In,
That's awesome. I've discussed this a little bit, but I totally know what you mean. I proposed to my wife in Disneyland, and it was the same thing. I'm sitting there like this crowd's forming, and of course you were hypersensitive to the situation, right? You're like noticing every abnormality, where she's probably like, "Yeah, Space Mountain, woo!"
Yeah, you know, it's funny because the dude behind me, if you see the picture, I'm totally blocking the guy's head.
Yeah.
And at first, he was looking at the sign, and he did the shoulders up thing, like, oh, and then he saw it, and he was like, he came over after, he was like, I'm buying you that ride photo. And I'm like, no, you're not. And he goes, yes, I am. And he walked us over there, and the lady gave it to me for free anyway, but he was kind of miffed at first, like, you ruined my picture. And then like, oh, okay, you ruined it for good cause. All right.
That is freaking
Your fiance's hot. You can take it.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah, so it was a good time. So thanks for the eventual shout out. I liked it.
Of course. Yeah, you're getting lots of congrats in the chat. Captain Disney saying congrats. Justin saying he just wants to hear you talk, Steve, about Disneyland the whole time. That you guys have great stories. Oh yeah, you met him out there, didn't you, Boondoggle Man?
Oh, it's Boondoggle Man in there. He was there the day we hung out the entire time. This guy is awesome, by the way. He loves the show. He knows intricate details of our humor and how much I dislike Lloyd. And all of this stuff. He's a really cool guy. We hung out the entire time. We had a blast.
That's awesome. So for those that don't know, Steve and I have actually been working on a Disney parks-focused Infinity cast. And Justin, just for you, we are going to have a special edition of one of those episodes where all we do is talk about your and his trip to Disneyland.
That'd be awesome. It's very cool. I harassed him the entire time, so it was a lot of fun.
Too funny. Cool, my friend. Well, let's go ahead and get things started with the show. I do want to preface this week's show. We're going to talk news items. First half is going to be spoiler-free, but the second half is going to be heavy on the spoilers. Most of these things have already been leaked prior to this week, but this is one of the few official points in time that we're actually going to discuss it, bring it up on screen. So we'll give you another warning ahead of time, but we want to throw that warning out there now just to keep you safe. If you want to stay spoiler free, you can do that. Before we get started, just want to say that the Inside Infinity podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Disney Infinity Fans Forum. DisneyInfinityFans.com, your number one forum for Disney Infinity related items. A great community over there with lots of great discussions, and they're doing trades and talks about the rumors. Just a great place to get all your Infinity information. So head over to DisneyInfinityFans.com for that. So with that, Mr. Krellin, let's get things started.
Can I say one thing real quick before you jump ahead? You know what's kind of cool I was going to tell you is I would seek the audience's approval on this and maybe tips. My younger sister, her name is Bonnie, and she lives in San Antonio, and she's been in the chat room before. Her and her now fiance, Justin Benek, are both fans of the show. They were in the chat room before, and they harassed me. One of the shows that we did before, and you guys were cracking up. Remember I thought that I Love Turtles was my sister, and you guys were messing with me and all this other stuff. It turns out that they're getting married in March.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Here's the cool part, though, and this is what I want to ask everyone's advice. I got ordained to actually do their service, and I want to know how many Disney Infinity references should I put in their speech? Because I'm trying to figure out, do I make it Disney Infinity heavy? Do I mention Lloyd? You know, do I mention Jason or Australia or Vegemite? I'm trying to figure out, what do you guys think? So
so tweet at us. Tweet at Steve to give him your thoughts on that. And you can also tweet at us, and we can mention it on a future show.
And she might be in the chat room right now. I don't know if she is, but I hope she doesn't think I'm ruining this. But I want to know how heavy to make the Disney Infinity group on their speech. I'm up to any suggestions. But congratulations to those two. And I look forward to doing their speech. DisneyInfinity.tv heavy.
That's awesome.
I guarantee you I will bring the Merida figure and hold it the whole time.
That's hilarious. You just got to hold it. Like it could just be resting on your Bible or whatever you're reading from. I have a story about that after the show, so we'll do a little post-show action with that.
Cool. I think that the Tinkerbell might actually be the ring bearer.
Oh my gosh. All right, Steve. So this first item was actually something that I missed last week, and the chat room was yelling at me to bring it up. So I'm going to bring up this first article actually coming out of Vinylmation Kingdom. The date on this is January 22nd. So actually right before last week's show. So just discussing a tweet with JV and someone. Now, Steve, do you have the Green Goblin yet?
I do. I've got all of them.
Okay, so were you surprised, like many others, that Green Goblin did not have his Green Goblins glider?
I was, and I'm also fascinated at Tweety Tweets. He's been one of my favorite people since I signed up to Twitter. Is the one that's got the famous screen right now. I love this guy. He's hilarious. But I did know that.
Yeah, so I guess according to JV, it's a bug. It should be in the game, and it's going to be fixed in a patch in early February. So that's coming up real soon. That's like next week or
Okay.
the week after. So that's the reasoning behind that. And if you want to read more up on this, it will be in the show notes at Vinomation Kingdom, so you can check out that tweet with Mr. JV. So that's the first item of business. Pretty short and sweet, but again, I guess it kind of like, here's the thing with Infinity. It's just a rabid fan base, and so people can easily get pretty excited about items, and this is one of those items. So we definitely want to make sure that we mentioned it and that the glider is coming. So
Yep, it's a big part of the game. So I know a lot of people are excited. The day that it happened, my Facebook feed of friends on the show was talking about it.
mhm.
So I know a lot of people will be excited once it's there.
Yeah, totally. And he's such a cool character. I'll be honest, I was so surprised how awesome Green Goblin is to play.
Yep, I agree.
Kind of surprised me. So cool. That's the first non-spoiler item. The other one, Steve, this is something I am so incredibly excited about. This news item's coming to us from Infinity Inquirer and coming from another tweet with JV. I think that the show should just be JV's Twitter feed. It looks like
JV's Twitter live. We just read everything he's posted.
no, we're totally gonna do a riff tracks one day of the show where all we do is just read off JV's tweets.
Please let me be the Johnny B voice. I'm not really a big fan of Johnny B, but I would like to do his voice.
Of course, judging by your decor.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
So this is a tweet that happened this morning, basically just discussing. Someone asked when is the 2.0 version of iOS Infinity coming out, and JV responded and he tweeted at some of the developers as well, promised that January 29th is going to be the day that Infinity 2.0 comes out. So this is one of those products that a lot of people are excited about. It's been a little time coming. We were hoping it would happen before the holidays, but it looks like it's going to be just a little bit delayed. But yeah, I don't know. I know lots of people are biting at the bit for this one. Steve, are you excited for the iOS version of Infinity?
Hugely, and not for me personally, because I'll be honest, most of the time that Infinity is played on the iPad for me is when I'm driving my kid around, and she lives on her iPad mini and plays it on there. And I've watched her build stuff on there, and I know that a lot of people, like, I talk to Steve a lot, some people are better at building on there. So I personally am excited to see what they've done. The delay just, to me, built up the hype to it. It's going to be great. I'm excited. This is such a great version of the game. The idea of getting it on a mobile platform again with the beautiful touchscreen, I'm pumped for it. So I am definitely excited. I think it's a really big, honestly, I think it's a huge part of the game. And the more and more I see those stupid, what's that God of War where Kate Upton is walking around, you realize that mobile gaming is such a huge, it's a dominating force today. So getting it out there into people's hands, is, I think, a really big deal. And, it's sort of, the delay kind of sucks because, when it was such hyped up at first, now it's sort of on that, it's done. People are done with the play sets. Now it's just building. But getting it out there is a really big deal. And I'm really excited for it.
Totally, yeah. It'll be interesting to see the improvements. We know of some of which are hardware based on the more recent iPad and iOS hardware increases, and but it's also I'm very curious to see, because last time the version was based off of the Wii version, so the assets were lower resolution and not quite the same. Although, yeah, like you said, you could very much build entire toy boxes, or if you prefer partial toy boxes and then move them over to your desktop. This one I think is going to have some really interesting features. It's supposedly going to be cross-platform. One thing I'm really hoping for is MFI support, which is the iOS controller support. I got a controller for Christmas, kind of hedging my bets that iOS Infinity will support controllers. So I'm really hoping my fingers are crossed, because then it would be like a portable.
It'd be like a portable PlayStation.
Yeah, it totally would. Yeah, exactly. So fingers crossed on that. But you know what? There's lots of people going to give their thoughts on it. We'll give you our thoughts when it is released. And so that is the 29th. Generally, the way it works is iOS release day is Thursdays of the week, but technically they generally start to begin to drop the night before, generally 11 p.m. Pacific time. So we will probably be getting some first impressions come Wednesday evening. Lots of people in the chat room are excited about this one. Jason over at Infinity Inquirer is super pumped for the iOS release. Tesla Blitz is saying can't wait for it. So Pirate Steven, the day the iPad app comes out will be like Christmas. He says, I expect one pirate box a week after it comes out. And then Papa Echo saying at a minimum. So yeah, that's exciting. Lots of people are excited. And what version or what model of iPad do you have, Steve?
Okay, well, I personally have an iPad 2 that can barely do anything right now for everything we do. But Lila has an iPad mini with Retina, so not the newest one that just came out, but the one last year that runs I guess it's the second fastest one out there. So
the
if it
iPad
comes out,
Air?
yes.
The thin one? Yeah.
Yep, so it should be okay.
Cool. Yeah, that will be fine. And that actually has some of the hardware bits that are going to help that are kind of special with this version of the game as well. So it's called Metal. Some
new
I know things. So and yeah, just so you know, Steve, if you need help live streaming your first ordained event, I'll provide technical assistance with that.
Sounds good. Bring it on.
I don't know if you're seeing the chat. All right, so chat room, live viewers, and whoever's listening to this podcast after the fact, here is your spoiler warning. So if you do not want to be spoiled, turn off the podcast now. We're going to ramble for a second longer to give you the opportunity, and then just skip ahead, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so to skip past all of that funness, because we are going to bring it up on the screen. So that's your warning. Do you think they need anything else, Steve, or have they been warned?
Darth Vader is Luke's father. Spoiler. Bam.
There you go. That's all the spoils you need. Oh, too funny. Cool. All right, spoilers. Now it's time for the spoilers. So you were warned. First up, Steve C. The ultimate unlock. Do I want to talk about this yet? No. Let's do the Disney Originals unlock first.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so because this is a slightly less interesting story. So over at Infinity Inquirer, there's a video, and this is coming at our friends from the Infinity Fans Forum. Sheriff over there got his hands on Jasmine a little bit early, and that is the last piece you need for the Disney 2.0 or the Disney Originals Hall of Heroes unlock. And so I'm gonna bring this up on screen and just kind of talk through this. I'll skip ahead some so you don't have to see all the boring bits. So essentially, first off, he goes through and he goes up to where Jasmine is and unlocks her her statue. I might have already done that. And then he goes to show you where. Nope, here it is. There's that last pedestal. Get rid of this ad here.
Is there any funnier video than Woody running around?
No, it's not. That's what I was showing you this before the show started.
They did that on purpose, just so that we could laugh. He looks ridiculous. He's so accurate to the movie. I mean, look at how far his head is back when he runs. It's awesome.
Awesome. Let's get him running again. So we have this little jumping thing, which is kind of cool. Jump on the. So it kind of looks like you would be able to break into this area, but it's not. It's just acting like a bouncy house. All right, and then we'll get to watch Woody run a little bit. This is actually the comedy bit. This is all we really want to. We're just gonna have a show of Woody running.
This is awesome. Comedy Central right here.
Yeah. So here you
look,
go.
Here he runs again.
So I'm gonna pause it right here. So this is the entrance to the special area. And he goes around and he looks a bit. So let me just fast forward to the actual unlock location where you can unlock that door.
Why? It's so much funner to just watch them do that. And yes, I said fun.
So there it is. That's the switch, and we're gonna go back down to that door below the statues. And now you can see the doors open. You kind of go underground. There's spider webs. See, I'm doing a play-by-play, Steve, for those that don't are listening to the audio version. So here you go.
Oh,
So
good point.
now we're sitting in a room with columns around the room, and there's kind of like another doorway. There's an archway with just a ton of gold just spilling out.
Pouring out of it.
Yeah. You have treasure chests. You can see here it's Aladdin's lamp. So I'll just kind of let this play a little bit more while he explores. And Steve, so what do you think about this? Do you think this is a pretty cool ultimate unlock?
Kidding me? So one of my favorite things about 2.0 is obviously the change to the Hall of Heroes. It's so much more extensive. You can actually kind of do things in it. I like the exploring, and it actually takes time to run around. So this right here, when you showed me the video before, I got wicked excited, and I'm pumped to go play in this on my own. It's spectacular. The colors in this room alone are great. For the people not watching, it's an indoor room. It's like a cave with pillars, and then there's like a fountain kind of circle around it, and there's water popping up out of the fountain, and then you've got all of it. It's spectacular. I love the change of scenery.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, and that's a great point, Steve. The aesthetic it's kind of what you would imagine being below this kind of Coliseum
absolutely
area.
Absolutely.
But it's not just shiny and pristine. It's like you said, it's like a secret cave that kind of reminds me of the treasure room. Oh yeah, the Goonies, totally. I was gonna bring it back to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It kind of reminds me of.
Never mind. That's a way better reference. I apologize.
No worries, dude. No worries. It's probably more like the Goonies.
Bringing up non-Disney references for a Disney game. How about that? This is what I offer the show, people. Batman looks great in this scene.
Oh no, it's totally fine. So now we're gonna show you Sheriff is gonna show you the only other kind of aspect of this so far, at least. I don't know if there could be other secrets to this area, Steve, that we haven't seen yet, that we just kind of have to figure out. But so far, this is all that's been figured out. So if you have a flying character here, she can actually, in that bouncing area, you can see there the door opens and slides shut, and so you can
look at that shadow.
You can fly out.
Look at the detail of that shadow. Do you see it? How it changes when you went up? Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it. And so I'm trying to figure out. It looks like that actually change of scenery, change of the time of day, was actually triggered by her going through the top. So I'd be curious to explore a little bit more around after that now, since I wonder if it triggered something else. But yeah, so this is it. It's the gold room, and that is what you get when you unlock all of the Disney original characters, other than the few that have yet to be announced. So it's pretty cool.
And then you get to do the fun thing where you lock Jasmine's mini person in the room with giant TVs or walls so that she can unlock her tree.
Let's say that again.
In the interior, the thing Sarah's thing, you know how you put the townsperson, then you have to lock her in with 50 million other them until they unlock her tree? That's the thing that Sarah keeps talking about, is she's waiting for Jasmine so that she can spend an hour filling the room with mini Jasmines.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, that's our favorite thing to do. Wait a minute. No, that's our least favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to talk about, but Sarah just wants to kill somebody when she's doing it. She's like, just open it already. It's right there.
So that's why you hand over the controller to her.
Oh, please. That's when I leave the room.
Too funny. All right, so that is one cool spoiler for the week. We should all be getting our hands on that very soon once Jasmine's a little more available. But the other one, Steve, this is interesting, and this is a news item for more reasons than just the fact that we actually got to play with the Ultimate Unlock. So for those that don't know, the Ultimate Unlock is Luke Skywalker's landspeeder. Going to bring it up on screen. Again, this is on infinityinquirer.com. We will post this in the show link, or the show notes. We'll link it out. So that's what it looks like. Captain America is sitting there driving it. But the interesting part about this is, again, it's been leaked through bugs and stuff, but this was actually, I think unfortunately it was a mistake, but it was available in a downloadable toy box.
Yeah.
From
how great is that?
You know, there's sometimes, no matter what you do, things just slip out, and this is one of those situations. So it essentially made it so anyone can play with the land speeder prior to unlocking it. Not only that, I've heard that there are ways that you can actually save this, even if you haven't unlocked it, to use it in other toy boxes. Not gonna mention that here, but we will show off a little bit on how it runs, because it's actually really cool. I got my hands on it as well. Yeah.
For a minute, when you said this is a spoiler, I thought you were going to say that this is a sneak image from The Force Awakens and Captain America is actually in the film. And I was going to say, this does not make sense to the Star Wars lore. But okay, now I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Holy crap, this looks awesome.
Doesn't it look cool, dude?
And no, this is so great.
It plays the song from Empire Strikes Back. I don't know if there's... Yeah, there's voiceover on this video, so
look at the smoke, man. Look at this detail. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's cool. It's I'm not gonna lie, man. It's a lot of fun. I did play with it. It has a cool turbo, and I'll be completely honest. Like, you see the turbo meter at the bottom. When I was using the turbo turbo meter never went away. So
don't fall, get up.
Save
Save it. Come on, don't you do it. Can you save it? There's no way you can save it. Are you as excited as I am right now? He didn't do it.
Hey, that's even better. He's like flying the thing now.
All right, is the turbo gonna happen? Is that what you're talking about?
I think it's happening right now, actually. And it's really subtle. The flames in the back change colors slightly.
The same thing here.
So, but yeah, man, it's sweet, and I mean, it's so iconic, and it looks like the landspeeder, but seriously, it also looks like a toy. It looks like the Infinity version, right? And it's just awesome.
This is all right. I'm seriously freaking out. This is amazing. This is the thing, and not to just completely bro out, dude, but this is what I love about Infinity, is the way that they take these characters. And a massive fan of art. And if you know me, I'm a huge art fan. You've seen my house, you know. The way that they tweaked it just enough to give it its own signature is the thing to me that makes it so much different than every other stupid game out there. And it gives it its own sort of, appeal. This is a perfect definition of what I'm talking about. How many other Star Wars games have there been out there? Look at how great this looks. I'm not just trying to sound like I'm giving, schmoozing or whatever. This is spectacular. This gets me so excited for what's going to happen in the future. It really does.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it makes me even more excited. I was excited to see the Marvel take on Infinity figures, but man, now I can't wait to see what. Give me a Infinity Chewbacca, and I will that or an Ewok, and I will be a happy camper.
Here's my thing, real quick, and I won't make long, but those shows on the Disney Channel do a really good job of making thing, and we're a huge fan of Rebels. And I never watched Clone Wars, and I get attacked for that all the time from my friends, but we watch every episode of Rebels. We're really into it. And their take on the characters is very Infinity-esque. They do the same thing. It's high definition in the quality that we see on the television, but not in the level of detail. They don't do a lot of detail. It looks similar to an Infinity character. And I think that the differences between the two are very minimal. And I'm wondering what they're going to do to set it apart, because we've already seen a Clone Wars Yoda, which is the same thing that I think Infinity does with the same characters. And as of 2 weeks ago, we just saw a Rebels version of Lando. And I mean, what they do is so perfect now. And, I have no problem thinking that Infinity is going to one-up it, but man, what they do is amazing. And that's my favorite part about is how they change it. That's why I love the characters, the physical characters, so much, is they look great. They're different than a regular G.I. Joe. They look like their own twist, which is why they're so great.
Totally. I mean, I guess you can kind of look, even though it's an art style nowhere near Rebels, but you look at the Toy Story figures and how they came, how they turned out based on the animated version of it. Same with Monsters Inc.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the MU guys are just like that. Yeah.
But the Rebels, I know what you're saying. It's like they're exaggerated features, and it's this like very artistic representation.
Smooth and angular, which is something that we've known. Look at Sully. Sully is almost made of different square pieces. I don't think there's a round edge on him.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. That's their Infinity way, and that's kind of what they do on Rebels as well. So, if we are talking Star Wars in the future, that's kind of the thing I like. But it doesn't even have to do with Star Wars. Look at Jack Sparrow and all of the things that they do, the art style, and is a huge fan of art in general. That's one of my favorite things is how they've done that. And,
Absolutely.
looking at that speeder right now, it gets me so much more excited. It's one of those things that I keep on ranting about it, but pacing the game out over the year between the next game and doing it in the right pacing is key. And doing something like this right now, it gets me re-excited to get back on, because I haven't played it in a little while. I've downloaded all the toy box. I have every character. I've done all the discs. But now something like this, it gets me pumped to go try it. I will build 70 stupid racetracks. I mean, nothing, just to race around with it, because it's something new and it's cool and it's beautiful the way they do it. And the execution is flawless, and you got to keep that timing going. I don't want everything in the first 3 months. You've got to pace it out or else people forget. And this is a good example of why.
Totally. Yeah, it's the same sort of reason that we geek out every time a new figure is finally announced. It's like, you just, half of that conversation is just staring at the character and kind of like analyzing its features of the figure itself. And then you go into like the gameplay and something is as simple as a vehicle. I mean, it's not simple because it's an awesome vehicle, but yeah, it gets you jazzed. And especially given the fact that 3.0 is all but guaranteed to be Star Wars, it's like, oh, this is our first real taste outside of the lightsaber. Yeah. Yeah. So people are asking me what toy box this is. Well, it was called the Marvel Arena toy box, and it unfortunately has actually since been pulled. I went and checked it out, or I looked for it right before the show just to double check, and no, it's not there anymore. Another kind of unfortunate side effect is I guess there were other items similar to the landspeeder that were unlocked in the toy box, and you can kind of save those items, some like power disc guys and some of the tools and packs for some of the power disc. Like I know Carl's Cane was one of them. The Flamingo from Alice in Wonderland power disc was also unlocked in that, even if you didn't have the power disc. So, this is one of those things. It's going to happen. We'd be remiss if we didn't discuss it on this show.
Can I ask you a question, Will? That'll take up 3 minutes of your time because I actually need your opinion.
Of course.
I'm a huge fan of movies, as you know, and more than that, I'm a fan of movie marketing. I'm a marketing expert major. This is my thing. I love it, and it's what I do. And I think that a clever marketing campaign it stands out today. Do you think that maybe leaks like this are on purpose, or do you think that they're completely accidental? And the reason I ask is because a leak like this right now, or a glitch or whatever we're calling it, it gets people talking about it. It's the same way that J.J. Abrams, on every other movie except for Star Wars, accidentally leaks something here, someone will post something here. It gets people talking about it all the time. Right. Do you think that this is is there any idea you think that this could be more than accidental? I'm just a real question, because honestly, this has stirred up a lot of conversation on I keep using my Facebook as a good example because all my friends on there play the game. This has been a week of people talking about it. People are now pumped, and it's not even out yet. So it's like people are excited again, and it's a really good idea to keep it going. And I'm wondering, do you think that any of it's intentional or what?
So I can tell you without a doubt that this happens in video games as well. There are accidental leaks all the time. That being said, I really don't think this was intentional. And the reason I say that for this particular example, I'm not saying that it hasn't ever happened with Infinity before. There's been a couple times where I've wondered if some leaks were somewhat intentional. Again, I have nothing to base that on, but it's just a feeling I've gotten before. But this time, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because it's the ultimate unlock. It's the final reward for putting in all the hard work of leveling up your figures and collecting all the figures. And not only that, we're 2 months away from being able to unlock it. And at this point, we're just so close. I just don't, it just doesn't make sense. Because I feel like when people legitimately would have gotten it in their hands once they unlocked all the figures, they would have been just as jazzed. And I don't think that period of time, I feel like there's still stuff going on in between now and then to keep the conversation going for this to just pop up. So I don't believe that this was an accident. I do believe it was an accident. I don't think it was intentional. So this particular
That's a good point.
example.
I will say one thing though. To get this, you have to have every character, correct? I tell you, it's a really cool unlock to get every character. And if there was a character or two that one of your family members didn't care about, like my kid, there are two characters that she just had no interest in getting, but I had to complete the thing. Now it's kind of like, are you kidding me? There's a speeder. Let's go pick up those two and fill out the collection. There's another $30 that I got to go spend to get it, and it's well worth it because I think it's really cool. But I don't know, it seems really well, perfectly placed. It's a good thing. If you make it a complete surprise and wait until the end, then people have to go back and find the old ones. If you do it right now, people can still go find the characters that I'm talking about that aren't so popular and pick them up right now, just so that when the time comes, it's ready to go. I like it. Whether or not it's intentional or not, I think it's spectacular, and I think it looks beautiful on screen, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. And who really knows? Captain Disney in the chat is saying that sometimes he thinks leaks are on purpose.
Agreed.
So, sweet. Well, Mr. Krellin, that's gonna about wrap up this week's show. This is a fun one, my friend. I hope you have fun coming back and joining us for an episode.
I did. Did someone say we could live stream my sister's wedding on here? Because I think that'd be great. I want to get Pirate Steve and you together like an ESPN commentary desk. And then like golf, when you look at me, go, okay, do you see what he's doing? You see what he's doing right now? He's reaching in. He's reaching in. Oh, he made the comment. He said it here. This is an amazing day. What he did today will never be done before. The first Infinity TV wedding ever. Thank you, Bonnie and Justin. Woo! Do you not see this as being massively successful?
I think it's amazing. It will be like one of our few live on location shows, and you also get to we get to critique your performance, either good or bad.
And it would be the only wedding ever where I'm holding a webcam up to their faces while I'm doing
yeah. It's like, oh, could you say that again? I wasn't recording.
Too much background noise. What did you say?
Yeah, I think you're going to be familiar with this person, but forgive the mispronunciation. Javanek is saying hashtag Tink for best man.
Tink. I don't know the guy who said that again.
Shut up. I'm not repeating it. Well, congrats to your sister and your future brother-in-law.
Oh, definitely.
From us at the Infinity Show. So, Steve, so you're on this show. You and Sarah do a playset potential show. You and I are doing some other stuff, and we do some live streams together with Sarah and you. Where else can people find you before we let you go today?
I do a podcast that you're going to be on soon. I do multiple other ones, but the one I pride myself on is it's called the Media Meltdown Mousecast, and all we do is we talk about Disney-related stuff, park stuff, film stuff, and we do a top 5 list every week where we break things down. And the next time we have one, you're going to be our guest again. You've been on a couple of different times. You and TJ and Julie have been on from Pixar Post. And we're going to do, since they haven't had you on for this before, we're going to do the top 5 play sets that you'd like to create. So They're on Facebook and Twitter, but you can look them up at MediaMeltdownPodcast.com, or they're on Twitter at the same handle. So check them out. And if you want to harass me on there, you can do that as well.
Totally. You have some of the best conversations on that podcast. I love it. It's cool because like you have varying personalities on there, and so you guys really like get into it, but in kind of professional and ways where you can express multiple opinions.
Absolutely. The two guys I do it with, Steve, who's one of your biggest fans, and Jeff, are consummate professionals. They are like Imagineer juniors. They sit there and they come up with great stuff. Jeff has done nothing but play 2.0 since Christmas Day, and he has some really great ideas. So I'm excited to get you in there, but honestly, they're not going to be as good as this show, please. Anyway. Well, they're going to read everything that we've already said.
So if you want more Steve, that's where they can find you.
No one wants more Steve.
Everyone wants more Steve. Travis is in the chat saying, people want to find him?
I told you, Travis is a good market audience. No one wants more Steve. They're stuck with me here at Outside Infinity. This is where you get me.
That's true. And Outside Infinity is a bi-yearly thing. So you have that to look forward to, and then 2029 on the Axiom. So awesome, buddy. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. I want to say thanks for everyone in the chat room. We really appreciate you being there. Great conversation. We wish everyone out there and on the Northeast who are just going through crazy snow winter right now, we wish you the best of luck. Make sure you're staying safe, stay warm out there. We'll be thinking of all of our friends over there. And with that, Steve, I think we're going to call it a day. If you like what we do, check us out on iTunes. You can also find us on YouTube youtube.com/Disney Infinity TV, and pretty much all the other places where you would expect. Oh, last but not least, we started up a Facebook group, so now you can enjoy the conversation there with us, where it's not just on Twitter now. So if you want to actually have a back and forth with us about the show or about Infinity, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Just look for Disney Infinity TV on Facebook. With that, Steve, I'm going to wish you good night, my friend. It was a lot of fun. And until next time, we hope everyone's week is filled with infinite possibilities.